So Trump recently came out and basically told all 150 countries that he placed tariffs on originally, look guys, if you don't accept trade deals, the tariffs are coming back. So with him saying that, I thought it would be a good opportunity to actually delve into the specific trade deals that Trump has made with with some of the few tariffed countries that actually went through, and just see if they were actually good negotiations and good deals. Because this is something the right has been praising since the beginning of these tariffs. Of course, in the beginning, the right said these tariffs are put in place to protect U.S. industry and bring U.S. manufacturing back and create more jobs. But now, when you realize these tariffs suck and they won't do that, now it's a negotiation tactic. The right likes to move the goalpost like that. So I thought this video would be a good opportunity to actually look at these trade deals, see if they're good, see if Trump did something profound, if threatening other countries with tariffs in the first place was even necessary to get these trade deals through. We're going to be taking a look at all of that. It's very important to discuss this because even people on the right, specifically the libertarian right, who I thought were good faith people, are defending these tariffs by saying, oh, it's good for trade negotiations, it's for better trade deals. I don't really think that's true at all. And it's a little alarming to me that the only one I've seen to consistently come out and just rip on Trump for these horrible tariffs in the first place was Ben Shapiro, which is insane because he clearly sold out to Trump like years ago. So, he wins some brownie points, I guess. Good for you, man. You're still a piece of shit. But yeah, anyways, let's start by looking at the deal that got the most news, the United Kingdom-US trade deal, obviously. So first, if we look at the US side of the trade deal, they left the baseline tariff of 10% in place, so every single good imported from the United Kingdom into the United States still is subject to a 10% tariff. Now, Trump's auto tariff, 25%, was negotiated down. The first 100,000 cars imported from the United Kingdom are now exempt from the auto tariff, and every car after the 100,000th is being tariffed at 10% instead of 25%. So overall, yeah, it's good that the auto tariff on UK imports is not 25%, but it's still 10%. So the price would still go up compared to what UK imported cars price is now. So that's still going to hike up the price of cars. Combined with the fact that every other car imported from every other country is subject to 25% auto tariff. So yeah. And it does eliminate the tariff on UK airplane parts. And I will say this is the one good thing so far that this deal does, because the United States imports a majority of its airplane parts from the United Kingdom. So in airports overall, you'll see small price decreases. So, this is a good thing. I won't beat around the bush, credit to Trump. Eliminating the airplane tariff was good. Now, when we look at the UK side, the UK lifted the tariff on ethanol, but I don't really think this will do much. The UK produces a majority of its ethanol domestically, and the rest of the most it imports is from the Netherlands and France. So the US isn't a major exporter of ethanol to the United Kingdom. I don't think this will change much. It might make us a more desirable market, but not by much, especially because just importing from the Netherlands and France would be cheaper. It's closer. You don't have to go by sea, all that stuff. So I don't think this will cause a spike in the United States exports of ethanol to the United Kingdom. And then the last thing is the reciprocal arrangement for beef exports, which allows each nation to export up to 13,000 tons of beef duty or tax-free. So there will be no sort of taxes or tariffs on any beef that is imported to the UK or that is imported to the United States from either country. So overall, I don't think much will happen. We have a better deal on beef that's completely fair for both sides. And eliminating the airplane tariff is also good. But overall, this isn't that good of a trade deal. This is what we're settling for. There's still a 10% tariff on UK imported cars. There's still a 10% baseline tariff in place. On paper, it looks good. Sweet, the auto tariff went down from 25 to 10%. Yeah, but that's still a 10% increase overall compared to what it was before. What? And then next, we have the China trade deal with the United States, and I wouldn't even call this a trade deal. All this is a 90-day suspension on both sides of tariffs, right? So it's not even stopping the tariffs completely on both sides. It's just a pause, a 90-day pause. On the U.S. side, the U.S. lowered its tariffs from 145% to 30%. And then on the Chinese side, they reduced their tariffs from 125 to 10%. And this is only set in stone for 90 days. And wow, that's it? Really? This is not even a trade deal. We're calling this a victory for Trump? Are we serious? Go back and look into how this happened. Trump and Scott Bessent were pushing heavy, trying to get China on the phone, like, please lower your tariffs, please, we don't want to keep raising the tariff, because they were losing. And they finally got China to be like, okay, we'll lower our tariffs by 115% if you do the same thing as well. And they were like, fine. And then they were like, okay, so 90-day pause until we figure this shit out. And everyone was like, yeah, fine. Really? This is a win? This is a 90-day pause. Trump is already, I literally talked about in the beginning of this video how Trump is saying from his original 90-day pause that all these countries probably won't get trade deals through and the tariffs will go unpaused. So how do we know that same thing isn't just going to happen with China too? Like, what are we talking about here? Then we have India. The only one where I'll give Trump credit, if that's what you want to call it, because India just completely, like, bent the knee. And it's really weird to see, and it's very confusing, honestly, because all the U.S. did was implement a 27% tariff, which is very minimal compared to the other countries. And India, in response, reduced all its tariffs on motorcycles and whiskey. They pledged to review additional tariffs and offered to increase U.S. energy and defense equipment imports. These are just negotiations, however, as of right now. There isn't an actual trade deal set in stone that's been agreed upon. India proposed a 0-for-0 tariff on auto parts to actually kickstart the discussions, so we'll see what comes with that. This could be a potential win for Trump for once, so he's 1 for 3. But this kind of leads me into my main point and my biggest gripe with this entire, like, tariff, trade, war shit. On, like, 90% of these countries, he didn't even have to implement tariffs. Just even threatening to implement tariffs was fine. Specifically with, like, Canada and Mexico, since the beginning of the United States 2024 election, when Trump was elected, the Canadian Prime Minister, the President of Mexico, were like, yeah, we'll continue to talk with Trump and discuss things and negotiate certain things. They were clearly willing to talk and come to any, like, agreement as long as it was fair with Trump from the beginning, and Trump still didn't care, and he's like, no, they aren't listening, we're going to put tariffs on them. And he actually did it, and now we're in a trade war with Canada and Mexico. No trade deals with them. My point is, the tariffs were useless. He didn't have to implement the tariffs to bring these countries to the negotiating table. It was completely useless, and he just did it to boost his ego and make him seem like this big, threatening, global power holder, right? And to a degree he is, because, I mean, he's the president of the United States. We are the country with the most say in global politics and global economics, obviously. But that's my point. We already are that threat. There's no reason to threaten even more, especially allies like Canada and Mexico, and just strain our relationship with them. These are not just allies, but they are our border allies. Trump, what the hell are you doing? And then, lastly, we have Qatar. Oh boy, I'm so excited to talk about Qatar. It does not surprise me that Trump is gifted a private jet from Qatar, and all of a sudden we have a trade agreement and new contracts with Qatar. Wow, that's pretty cool, man. That seems right and not suspicious at all. And reading it right off the White House page, you can see what's a part of this deal. Quote, today's signings mark President Trump's intent to accelerate Qatar's defense investment in the U.S.-Qatar security partnership, enhancing regional deterrence and benefiting the United States industrial base. So, you know, Trump being the peace president, the president that's going to get us out of the Middle East, that's going to stop the destabilization of the Middle East, is continuing to meddle in the Middle East and expand the military-industrial complex. Got it. That's cool, man. That's great. We love that. What a great trade deal. Why do you think Trump is accepting a $400 million private jet from Qatar in the first place? Because we're letting Qatar buy our friendship. And on the surface, that seems smart, but it's obvious why. We want another foothold in the Middle East. Like, we already need another foothold. We just want to keep expanding and extracting and exploiting from these Middle Eastern countries, and that's what this completely sets us up to do. The idea that President Trump is against this and is the pro-peace president is ludicrous. It is ridiculous, and it's not backed by any sort of evidence or past historical facts. It's not. And yeah, that's the end of this video. I know, because those are the only fucking trade deals he's done that really actually bring anything of value whatsoever. So, wow, these tariffs are a great trade negotiation tool, clearly, if he's already threatening on over 150 countries to place the tariffs back because they didn't make trade deals with him. It was an utter failure. If your excuse for Trump placing these tariffs was, oh, it's only for trade negotiations, this is an utter failure. He's negotiated with 3 countries, and only one of those deals is potentially good, and that's the one with India, of course. And I wouldn't even call the one with China a deal. It's just a pause. We're going to go right back into a trade war with them. This is the second time we've gotten into a trade war under the Trump administration with China. He might do it again. We might go back for a third time. This might turn into a whole NBA playoff series. Might be a 7-game series of China-US trade wars. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's the end of this video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Tried out a new little template with the background gameplay instead of actually showing my face. Mainly because I just was lazy and didn't want to get the camera out, and just was like, I can just record the audio for this and then paste it over some footage I get while I'm just fucking dicking around on whatever video game. So yeah, if you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. More content will be out like this, and I will see you guys in the near future. Peace.